This week on the Bubble Chat.
I don't think Will Smith or Jada have to work another day in their lives if they choose to.
I'm gonna try to watch that movie, but I'm just not paying for a Showtime subscription on Paramount Plus. That's what I'm not gonna do.
As a wife, I know I'm very protective of my husband in a lot of moments.
You know, I couldn't imagine paparazzi coming around me. I yell at the vendors that come to my door.
She had those 3 babies. It didn't no store drop them off.
I really think that this is a serious issue.
You know, congratulations to her. I think, hopefully the baby's healthy.
Jamie Lee Curtis won her first fucking Oscar! Jamie Lee Curtis won her Oscar!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bubble Chat. We hope that everyone has been having a wonderful day, and we do have a lot of tea to spill. Shay is out tonight. She's performing. Go, Shay. So tonight is going to be Jawan.
That's me. And guest hosting today is Uncle Ruben. Hello, Uncle Ruben.
Hey.
We had so much fun with him the last time he guest host, so we're just happy that he's doing this with us again.
We are very happy about that. I like my eye candy. And subscribe to wherever you get your podcast. That said, let's spill some tea.
Okay, so looks like we got a lot of Oscars tea tonight. So from the slap that happened to Chris Rock, there was no way this year's Oscars was going to get over that incident. That's right. Jimmy Kimmel joked last year's slapping incident in his opening monologue at the Oscars. Jimmy entered the Academy Awards on this past Sunday night, tackling a wide variety of topics. Jimmy took a moment to jokingly call out the viewers who were present last year when the slap took place, stating, quote, "Seriously, the Academy has a crisis team in place. If anything unpredictable or violent happens during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for the best actor and permitted to give a 90-minute long speech." Guys, what do you think about this?
Well, I think it was bound to happen. I was reading somewhere where some of the more brutal jokes, I guess, were cut out by his wife was the producer of the show. So she cut out some of the more brutal jokes, but it was bound to happen. It's the Oscars. So it happened at the Oscars. So he was going to have to joke about it. It's there. It was the Oscars. So sure, it's going to happen. A lot of things happened in this week, last couple of weeks. I guess Chris Rock had his special on Netflix, the first live event on Netflix that they had. I tried to watch it. I watched probably about 10 or 15 minutes of it, and it was Chris Rock, and you either love or hate Chris Rock's comedy, and I turned it off because it was just kind of, it wasn't interested in me. But I did watch Marlon Wayans' special, God Loves Me. And it was interesting to me because Marlon Wayans had a different take on this whole slap, where he went into some stories about Chris Rock and how he's known Chris Rock a long time in his life, where Chris Rock first got an acting role in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, where he was the rib guy. Keenan Ivory Wayans directed the movie and promised that role to Marlon Wayans, the rib guy, but instead gave that role to Chris Rock. And from that point on, it became like this big brother hate towards Marlon. Wherever he went, he saw him, and it was like this big brother bullying type scenario. And Marlon Wayans, his whole special was about this big brother bullying from Chris Rock. And he's like, well, God loves me, so that slap was vindication from all the bullying that Chris Rock did to him. So it was this hilarious. So if you have a chance, it's on HBO now. God Loves Me. So I thought it was, that part was funny, but the rest of it kind of goes in Jada Pinkett, and it wasn't as funny. But that first part where he was telling the stories about Chris Rock and him growing up with Chris Rock and how he bullied him a little bit, and then him getting back with the slap with God coming in and intervening, I thought was kind of funny. So I think it was bound to happen, and it was there, and it's of course part of something we have to deal with, I guess. Part of pop culture now, so it's just gonna be there. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I kind of find it odd, that because I remember last year I was watching the Sherry show, where Jimmy Kimmel interrupts Quinta Brunson.
Oh yeah,
when she
yeah.
was given a word. I don't know if any of you remembered, but recently Jimmy Kimmel interrupted Quinta Brunson when she was given an award by pretending that he was like being like dragged on the stage. So he was being dragged like this, and it was like very rude of her.
Yeah, it was a tone deaf moment, and Jimmy Kimmel's an idiot in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I remember like Quinta Brunson doing the same thing when Jimmy Kimmel started interrupting when he was interrupting his monologue when he gets out his monologue. But the thing of it is, he did apologize, and although I do appreciate him apologizing, but as Jamie Foxx says, you shouldn't be blaming on the alcohol.
Yeah, it was the wrong time. It was the wrong moment. During the Emmys, you don't do that kind of thing during a black woman's. You didn't do that during a white man's acceptance speech. So why are you doing it when a black woman's getting her award? You didn't choose to do it during a white man's opportunity getting an award. So yeah, it was a stupid. It was just dumb. Like it was like completely just idiotic on his part to do that. Yeah, you gave her opportunity to interrupt your monologue on your show, but it doesn't have the same gravity. It doesn't have that same moment to come back and do that. So yeah, it's just here's a woman who worked all her life to write a show, produce a show, star in a show, who gets this moment completely, and then you're going to ruin her moment. That is just completely just a boneheaded, idiotic, typical white man type behavior.
I see. And Eve, what are your thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel's joke on the Oscars, in addition to the incident that took place last year?
I really don't have any comment on that because I did not watch the Oscars. I chose to not waste my time watching it. Once Viola Davis was not nominated for Best Actress in The Woman King, sis was personally I was done.
It's Woman King or nothing in this house. Good Lord.
Yeah. So
I mean, but Viola was robbed.
I don't know how many times we watched Woman King in this house, but we watched it.
Okay, yeah. But everyone wants to keep mentioning about last year's incident, especially since Will Smith is currently on a 10-year ban from the Oscars. So what are your thoughts on those?
I mean, they can keep on. I mean, but Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith are public figures, along with they chose a career in acting. They reached for their dreams. They are at the pinnacle, or have been at the pinnacle of major success, considered A-list entertainers by all standards, the cream of the crop. So that comes with the territory. When you make, whether good moves or bad moves, especially when you're in the public eye, people are going to really notice the missteps or the not so great moves. Now, so people are going to talk about it, and they're free to talk about it. I mean, for me, I don't believe Chris Rock had to be hospitalized. He should not have been assaulted.
I don't even remember. I don't even think or remember that he was hospitalized.
Yeah, I don't think he was. So yes, he was assaulted. I'm not trying to lessen it. I'm just saying he wasn't hospitalized. He wasn't stabbed. There was no gunfight. Will, and what I perceive, because I don't know the operation of his mind, but from what I perceived is it was a heated moment where he was tired of people talking about his wife. And I don't know any rumor, but I don't personally know of any backstory between them, but I've read some things about it. And, I'm sure there's a thread of some kind of history there, why he decided to go up there and slap Chris Rock. It was inappropriate. And, as far as the law is concerned, it was wrong. From the standpoint of a spouse, I don't know if it was wrong. Me personally. He didn't, beat him down or stomp him. He didn't windmill him or stomp him like I would have. So, he slapped him and he walked back off stage and sat down. They're going to talk about it. It's going to be talked about for, until it's going to be talked about the whole 10-year ban, and it's going to be talked about once the ban is over. But I don't think Will Smith or Jada have to work another day in their lives if they choose to. The same with Chris Rock. It's humor. I don't think it was necessarily funny, and I'm gonna ride with Jada's up there with Beyonce as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna ride with Jada till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Yes.
All right. So anybody else have anything to add, or can we go on to what I want to talk about? I want to talk about Michelle Yeoh. Okay. She is the first Asian woman to take home an Oscar in the leading actress category. So my hat goes off to Michelle Yeoh. I think she's always been extremely talented. Now, she's one of those actresses that I do know by name when I see her. It's not like I say, I don't say, oh, that Malaysian actress. I don't say that. I say Michelle Yeoh, because she is that, she is a bad bitch when it comes to acting. So I just love her. What was it? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Joy Luck Club, just to name a couple movies that I really enjoyed her in.
Did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once? Did you watch that movie?
I fell asleep.
No, you started talking on the phone. You didn't fall asleep.
Okay, well, I started talking on my phone and then I fell asleep. I'm gonna need Zaddy over there to mind his business.
We started watching it and the phone rang, and then it was it. We didn't turn it off. We didn't finish it. I finished it. So I enjoyed the movie, so I watched it.
But I think it was well-deserved. If Viola Davis had been nominated and Michelle Yeoh still won, I would have been happy for Michelle. You get what I'm saying? That's from what I saw. That's how, I felt her performance is. I know she's a outstanding actress. So even against Viola Davis, I would have been happy for her. I would have applauded the moment. I would have applauded the moment for the AAPI community. And this is something that I want to thread a tie with. I'm over a half a century old. And before I was even born, there has been a lot of anti-Asian racism within this country. It's always there, just like anti-Black racism. And I don't know, because I grew up in the Bay Area, I have experienced, I always felt like a kinship, because the way I was raised, I always felt like a kinship with Asians. You know, whatever the ethnicity, whether they were Cambodian,
Vietnam.
Yeah, they're from Vietnam, but they're called Vietnamese or Viet for short. You know, Chinese, Japanese. You know, my neighbors happened to be Japanese, and the wife took, you know, from the time I was a baby, took a like to me, loved me, will always invite me into her house, always feed me some rice or some sushi and some seaweed. You know, that was just, you know, my upbringing. So you know, I don't know a world without the Asian community. Now, it has been painful throughout my life that I have, because even though I feel a kinship with them, because I know they suffer and they understand what racism, that sometimes I hate to see that there's racism within their community, like kind of like an anti-Blackness. But I also know that's from propaganda and also various laws and the model minority myth. But I think it's a great accomplishment that she won the award, not because she's Asian, but because she's just a great actress. But the bonus is she is, you know, an Malaysian actress, the first one of the AAPI community to bring one award home. And I just want to, just want to say one more thing. You know, since the 1800s, they've been coming with that anti-Asian sentiment. They started that with a Chinese Exclusion Act, 1882. They can continue on with immigration acts in 1917 and then also 1924. During World War II, we can't forget that over 120,000 Japanese Americans were arrested and put in camps, you know, taken away from their homes, their communities. Gold miners, Chinese gold miners, were actually taxed oppressively when they were mining gold to countering against the white male population, because they felt like they were strong competitors. So they actually had a, you know, I hate to say it, but they actually, you know how they say there's a Black tax? They actually had an Asian tax. They had a Chinese tax where they literally paid more money for just being Chinese. And we can go, they were basically treated like second-class citizens. The whole narrative of the yellow peril, that they were going to come in, and they were aggressive, even when U.S. colonized the Philippines. Filipinos were referred to as dirty and filthy. And so it just has been this narrative that's been painted about there's an oppression and a racism towards so many in the Asian community that I just want to, you know, so I applaud this moment for the Asian community, because a lot of times, you know, we say we want to see more Black people in movies in different roles. Well, I have always felt that way towards the Asian community. I want to see more Asians in roles, and I don't want them just running laundromats. I just don't want them to be your local Chinese restaurateur that we see in sitcoms. You get what I'm saying? I want to see them, the breadth of them people, because they're not the board. We're not the board. They're individuals, and that's why there's been the emasculation of the Asian male, and that's why when New Jack City came out, I don't think you were important then, Juwan, but it was a Wesley Snipes movie, Ice-T, and Russell Wong was in there. And can I tell you, Russell Wong
gosh, there we go.
Ooh, Russell Wong is sexy. He is fine.
Can we stop with the Russell Wong?
Okay, but he is fine.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So huge applause on that. Huge congratulations to Michelle Yeoh. She got her start, and I think you mentioned this, Eddie, but she got her start in the international films in the 1900s. And she got her start in the series in Hong Kong action films and performed her stunts. And fun fact about this is that Halle Berry was the first woman of color to win for Best Actress in the 2002 Oscars, and Michelle Yeoh became the second woman of color and first Asian overall to win the Oscars. And Halle Berry, who gave her that award, was like really, really amazing. And Ke Huy Quan won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is the movie that he was involved in as well. He won that at the SAG Awards as well. And the film took home 7 Oscars this past Sunday night, including Best Picture, Director, Original Screenplay, Lead Actress, Supporting Actress, Supporting Actor, and Editing. So what are your thoughts on Everything Everywhere All at Once's amazing award?
I think having watched the movie, I think it was, if you're not ready for that movie, it's all over the place initially. You have to pay attention to that movie because there's a lot going on. I told Eve this a couple right before we started filming this. You can't be on your phone. You can't be distracted. You have to watch that movie because there's so much going on in the background. There's so much going on in that. But there's also so much, there's such a great underlying story about that movie. There was just a beautifully written story about people, about what a woman does in taking care of a household and how she relates to her daughter and how that daughter relates to, that mother-daughter dynamic, especially at Chinese or any family at all, because they have to, that's that balancing act. Does that woman, what she wants to see for herself, does she see her same thing for her daughter following that same path? Does she make the right decisions? And if she made these decisions, would her life have been different? And it's all these what ifs. And we all think about these what if moments. And I think it was such a beautifully done movie in that, because we all want to explore that, but at the end of the day, we all make the right decision because it's the right decision for you. And I think that was the brilliance of that movie, because that you see what's in front of you is always the perfect thing that's for you, because it's there in front of you, but you don't always see that at that moment. And I think, so that's the underlying sentiment of that movie, is that the perfect thing is there for you at that moment, but you don't always see it there. So,
but you saw
Daniels, they did a good job. And I think, Data, the Goonies, Indiana Jones, he did a great job, all his life, acting, and he grew up in acting, and there was a moment with him and Harrison Ford giving a hug. So it was that moment, and his mom, he said he never gave up on his dream, and his mom was there watching him receive an Oscar. So it was that moment. So it was like all these firsts for such a wonderful cast. Even, I guess we're going to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis later. It was like such a wonderful cast in that movie, which deserved all that recognition for such a wonderful movie that is all over the place, but at the same time, just centered in such reality, because that's where we're all at. we're all over the place, but we're centered in that one place at the same time.
Yeah. So huge congratulations to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Huge congratulations to Ki Kwan, and huge congratulations to Jamie Lee Curtis, who we're going to talk about later, and huge congratulations to Michelle Yeoh. I'm not really a fan of A24 movies because this movie is produced by A24.
I love A24 movies, but
yeah, I'm not really a fan of A24 movies, but I did hear some success, a lot of success about the film, such as X, Pearl, including Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm gonna try to watch that movie, but I'm just not paying for a Showtime subscription on Paramount Plus. That's what I'm not gonna do.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes.
$9.99. Just pay for 1 month and then watch it real quick. Or
Right.
yeah, talk to your Auntie Eve and maybe we can figure something out later.
I need to get that movie on digital.
Or maybe if you talk to your Auntie Eve and we can figure something out later.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch that movie.
Okay. If you talk to your Auntie Eve and we can figure something out.
Oh, we
later.
are.
Okay.
Uncle Ruben, I think you have the Bruce Willis
the Bruce Willis thing. So
looking
up
at
next,
my beautiful eyes.
Bruce Willis's wife, Emma Hemming Willis, has told paparazzi to stop yelling at him when he is seen in public. As you all know, Bruce Willis' family announced that his speaking disorder has progressed into frontotemporal dementia. Emma stated in an Instagram video, people, please don't be yelling at my husband, asking him he's doing, or asking him how he's doing or whatever. Give him his space, allow for our family or whatever, or whoever's with him that day to be able to get him from point A to point B safely. What are your thoughts about what Emma had to say about paparazzi who've been yelling at Bruce Willis, especially after his diagnosis?
I honestly do not blame Emma 1,000,000%. She has every right to speak up about this because Bruce is going through something that can be life-threatening. And we talked about this in the bubble chat before. He was meeting with his friends at a coffee shop in Santa Monica, and that's when he was discovered by paparazzi. So I praise Bruce's wife for using her platform to speak up about the situation because he's diagnosed with a type of dementia, and it's difficult to have it publicly, especially since you're having trouble communicating.
Yeah, I think that they're yelling yippee-ki-yay and other things at him. Some of the stuff that Bruce Willis used to say in the movies, and if he's having trouble talking and he's having trouble getting from place to place and he's having trouble remembering, it's bad enough. But paparazzi are a pain in the ass anyway, and I think, yeah, they're trying to do their job. They're trying to get pictures, but they invade too much privacy anyway.
Right.
And they're too in your face, and they're too into people's public space or in their private space in a public space. I know that sounds contradictory, but I think they're often too up close and personal with people, that they don't allow people that ability to get from point A to point B because I gotta get the shot. I gotta get the shot of Bruce Willis. This is gonna give me that money. That's gonna give me that money. But they don't think about how that's affecting the people that are trying to get him from point A to point B. They don't care. And I know that's their right not to care, but they should have a little compassion for what's going on with him. Will it work? I don't know. Will the paparazzi back off? I would hope so, but they ran Princess Diana off the road and killed her. So, they don't care they just want to get a shot and make money. So, they're not going to care about Bruce Willis's space. They're just taking a picture.
And Eve?
I mean, they're like a pack of wolves surrounded a baby lamb.
Yeah.
They don't, they're predators. They to me, they're like predators. Trying to capture a moment or interaction. I think that Emma, it makes sense what she did. As a wife, I know I'm very protective of my husband in a lot of moments. So she's standing up for her. She's standing up for her husband as well. She should, So I respect it, and I hope the paparazzi can understand. He has retired. He retired for a health reason. Leave him alone. If you take your picture, but a lot of you guys have long lenses, you can do that from across the street or up the street for that matter. So you don't have to be near him. You shouldn't be shouting out his name, shouting out his movie phrases. They've already told you he's having communication problems and also memory problems. So, let the man have some type of piece of life, the last stages of his life. And I don't mean I'm in the last stage of my life. I don't have a terminal illness, but I'm over 50 years old. So this is the second half. And you got one foot out the door. So he got one foot out the door. Let him live the rest of it in peace. He's entertained us a lot.
I agree. If I totally get it. And Bruce Willis is not the only one who was being annoyed by paparazzi. There are many actors and actresses, especially on the Disney Channel, who have been stalked by paparazzi. Some of them might be for predatory reasons. Because I heard this one story of how Ashley Tisdale was stalked by one of the creators of Disney, and so I also heard about with the situation with Selena Gomez as well. So, if you were a celebrity, how would you react if paparazzi ever came to you? If you were a celebrity, just out of curiosity,
fuck you, fuck your mama, fuck everybody who's connected to you. Fuck you, fuck
Yeah,
you.
I'd be pretty angry. I wouldn't be kind to him. I'd probably be standoffish as well. It'd be pretty bad, I think. I'm pretty angry when it's regular people, so I couldn't imagine paparazzi coming around me. I yell at the vendors that come to my door after a certain hour. He tells me not to open the door, and I look at them, and they're sitting there trying to give me a spiel, and I'm like, "Can you just get me on to what you're trying to sell me?" And I look at them like, "You just wasted my time," and I slam the door at their face, because they come around all the time trying to sell solar panels. They try to sell whatever, and I'm looking at them like, "You just wasted my time," and I just slammed the door, like I'm not interested. Get away from me.
Right. Right.
So paparazzi come around, I'm gonna be a lot more angrier. Angrier.
Trust me, if my mom had to deal with paparazzi, trust me, it would not be pretty.
But I think your mom, if your mom
would be like,
hey, your mom would be loving paparazzi if she had to deal with them. If that was your mom,
give me them digits.
She'd be all over the paparazzi. If your mom she would be loving paparazzi.
She would love it.
Yes, she would. She would be loving the paparazzi. She would be, hey, get my good side. Make sure you get my good side.
Get my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Your mom. I mean, but she's an entertainer.
She would be.
She's extremely talented.
Make sure you get this good side.
Hold on, Hannah. Let me post. She'd be ready for it.
Oh yeah. Oh, she would. And she would always, if she had paparazzi, she'd always make sure her hair was did, everything.
Oh yeah. Lipstick on.
Oh yeah.
Cleavage out.
Yeah. Oh
my goodness. Okay.
You know we telling the truth though, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Up next, singer Ciara addressed the criticism that she got on her outfit that she wore on the Oscars party this past Sunday. She and her husband Russell Wilson hit the carpet as Ciara can be seen wearing a see-through dress over a black thong, as a user shared how it was inappropriate to wear as a mother of 3 young children. What do you guys think about this?
She had them 3 babies. It didn't no store drop them off. That didn't come out no cereal box as a prize. She got. Oh, now. Come on now. Now, let me tell you this. I am tired of people policing women's bodies. I'm tired of it. We are not second-class citizens. We get to wear what we want to wear. You don't have to like it. You don't like it, don't look.
That part.
Okay? That's number one. I'm extra tired of people policing Black women.
Yeah.
And J-Lo comes out something cute, and sexy and revealing. Oh, look at J-Lo, blah, blah, blah. Look at J-Lo. Madonna does something. It's okay. Lady God wears something. It's okay. But when it's a Black woman out there, there's supposed to be a problem. First of all, whatever size she is, Ciara can do what she can do. But she has the body of a model. I mean, a little bit better than a model because she got a little bit of meat and some tone to it. But she got a bad body. She looked absolutely stunning in that dress. She looked like a whole midnight snack in that dress. So she can wear what she want to wear. And how do you think she got the babies? And stop policing her. She's a grown woman. She's legal. Her kids got about probably 3 nannies. I don't know that for real. But they probably got 3 nannies. And them kids wasn't watching her walk down the carpet. So or going into the party and stuff. It's like, she's a grown woman. She wears what she want to wear. And she looked good in it. I would have did something different with the hair, but that's just me. But she looked good. I mean, look at my hair. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I would have did that ponytail, just been like.
Yeah, I've been seeing everyone being mom shamed, especially when it comes to their children. Like, I mean, I don't know if they're talking about Ciara's children for sure, but they should keep their children out of their mouth.
I think they should too. But she looked good.
Yeah, my mom.
That's why Russell, I mean, not really why, but in my opinion, that's why Russell having trouble, just had a rough season. His mind wasn't on that football. That mind was on that Ciara. Like, what he gonna do to her when he get home? That's what's going on, but people don't want to talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, trust me. My mom wanted me to talk about this she requested it.
Mm-hmm.
So Uncle Ruben, what are your thoughts?
So, I have I grew up around a lot of Black guys in Waco and small town in Texas. And I see them talking about this on my Facebook, and I just sit there and I'm just shake my head because it's like, are you letting your wife go out there dressed like Ciara? First of all, none of y'all have wives that look like Ciara. That's the first part. And the second part of that is none of y'all should be policing what your wives do. At the end of the day, if you're that insecure on what your wife is wearing, that's your fault. So I'll tell you a story. One time I did with my wife have an issue with what she was wearing, but that picture sat on my desk for the rest of my career while I was in the military. Because it was a picture of me and her together. It was a good time that we shared. But it was, as long as she felt comfortable in what she was wearing, I was okay with it. But I said what I said, but she was okay with it. But we went together in what she was wearing. So that's a full come clean story. She went out with it. I said what I said in private.
What did you say? I forgot.
I said I didn't, something about I didn't like the way it looked, but that's all.
I look like a whole snack.
Yeah, you did. You look great. You look great in it, but I just didn't like the way it fit, but it looked great on you. And that picture sat on my desk the rest of my career.
Mm-hmm. It did. I love you.
So, but we said it, I said it, and I still went out with you.
You did.
So but I said what I said. I said I didn't like the way it looked, but that's all. But you still wore it. Shit, you didn't listen to me. Shit.
I sure did, because I knew I looked like a whole snack up in that
Yeah,
dress.
but I'm just telling you, I came clean. I'm telling you, I'm being honest.
You are.
I'm not saying that
But he does not police me. He does not police me, but he do have opinions. Because I had this African outfit that I like to wear.
Oh, good Lord.
I put it down. When I put it on, I like, the whole family is like,
oh,
we gotta go with this lady when she puts this on.
Oh.
But it was cute. I still wore it. It was cute. You couldn't tell me. I should have brought it back out for Wakanda Forever, but I forgot about it. But I'm telling you,
horrible. But I wore it. I went with her.
That was what?
Well, I think it's horrible, but you do you. You do you.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't know you was getting all the unfiltered us today, Jawad, did you?
Nope.
This is Auntie and Uncle gone wrong.
He's like, oh shit, what did I sign up for today? He's like, they oh.
All right. As we continue celebrating Women's History Month here on Bubble Chat, the woman from Pakistan has been an advocate for female education and became an international symbol of the fight for women's education. Her name is Malala Yousafzai.
Malala Yousafzai publicly spoke out against prohibition on the girls' education that was imposed by the TTP, sometimes known as the Pakistani Taliban. She gained attention when surviving an assassination attempt when she was 15 years old. After winning the Nobel Prize, Malala continued her education in England and graduated from the University of Oxford in 2020. With the support of the Malala Fund, Malala opened a girls' school in the Lebanon for refugees for the Syrian civil war. Welcome back to the Bubble Chat with more of today's topics. Up next, at least 100 citizens in Iran were arrested in the connection of the suspicious poisoning of thousands of schoolgirls in the country in recent months. According to Time magazine, Iran's Interior Ministry claimed that arrests and investigations took place across numerous cities as toxic gas attacks have been affecting thousands of students. Most of the girls since November when it took place. Time magazine claimed that others assumed that the attacks are meant to stifle young girls due to their participation in the protests over the death of Mahsa Amini, who died in police custody for allegedly wearing her hijab too loosely. Guys, what are your thoughts on this terror that has been happening in Iran since Mahsa's death? What are your thoughts?
Well, one I want to say is it definitely been happening for centuries and before her death, the oppression of women. Um, but just the continuation to stifle women's progress in that country, to try to deny them education and equal rights, is a continues to be disheartening.
Yeah, they kids were used to take the poison into the school in which there were almost 700 girls, and some generals believe that the overall reason is to shut the school down because they didn't want the women to be educated. And I really think that this is a serious issue. Uncle Ruben, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Iran's a strange place because I think it was like 60s, 70s. Iran was kind of a normal place where things were kind of going okay. There was still some oppression, but things were okay. And then, 70s, Ayatollah Khomeini comes around. It starts bringing this strict Muslim teachings and changing everything. And that's when all this crazy oppression comes around. And then there's like even more of these keeping girls out of school and keeping women in their place. And it just shocks me to think that it's like all these places, all these Muslim countries, whether it's Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, or in some places they have, in Afghanistan, you have some women that are leaders, but some places that they don't want them to even allow them to learn, which shocks me, where they want to keep them in their place, like almost second class, third class citizens, where they're not allowed to learn. They're not allowed to, we want to keep them covered up. We want to keep them to be mothers of our children. We don't want them to learn. We don't want them to drive. We don't want them to have a life. We don't want them to have a career. We don't want them to be influenced by outside influences. We don't want them to, and it's just crazy to me, that way of thinking, because it's, when we educate people, we become a better society. We become better as a whole. When we educate everybody, we become better as a whole. When we limit that education, knowledge is power. Knowledge frees people, and that's what they're scared of. That's why we go back to Malala. That's why they were so afraid of Malala, is because she was getting that education and she's freeing people, getting them education. That's why the Taliban was so afraid of her, because she was trying to educate children. She was trying to educate girls. And if you educate girls, they are no longer being able to be married at 12 and 13 and forced into that long life of marriage and being raped at a young age and being subject to that servitude and just a shitty ass life, excuse my language, but a shitty ass life of just and no future, no ability to experience a world out there other than being subjugated to a man. And no woman should have to be subjugated to a man. And that's just such backward ass thinking that goes on. And, I could read the statistics that happen, but it's just going to keep continuing to happen until people are willing to change their viewpoints. And it's this idea of people buying into, oh, this is what's based on religion, and this is what's based on the Quran, and this was based on the Bible. It's all based on what these people make up. This is what I want to believe, and this is what I wrote down, and these are the things that I want you to believe, and this is how I control you. And ultimately, this is how I'm going to control women. This is how we're going to control people. And this is how we're going to continue to control people. So, until we can figure out how we can get away from those organized things that control people, we're never going to be free. And those people are never going to be free. And I think those are just my thoughts.
Joanne, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I really, really think that it's just I to this day, even after the Mahsa Amini death, I still have no words of my own. I just think we just show how brave we are. We just need to stand up for what's right. And I think, because like I can't imagine the terror that was going on in Iran, and it's just the terror is just sickening and just unimaginable.
We just have to continue to pray for the people and their families, and hope that they continue to fight the good fight, where their boys and girls can be educated and know their worth, and have different opportunities, especially the girls. And also the boys. It's good for the boys to know that they don't have to, that they could, I have nothing against arranged marriage. If that's part of someone's culture, it's worked for centuries for a lot of cultures, and that's fine. But I think those arranged marriages should be for adults. And it should be their choice.
Absolutely.
Not something that's forced.
Absolutely. Shall we move on?
All right. We are doing a boomerang, and we're going right back to the Oscars.
We sure are.
Jamie Lee Curtis won her first Oscar. She was the 95th Oscar Academy Awards show. The win comes after she earned the first nomination in her 45-year career for her role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. The win comes after Curtis won 2 SAG Awards for the film, and she was also nominated at the Critics' Choice Awards, the Golden Globe Awards, the Independent Spirit Awards. Guys, what are your thoughts on Jamie's amazing victory?
Oh, it's like a hold on, guys. Watch this. Jamie Lee Curtis won her first fucking Oscar! Jamie Lee Curtis won her Oscar!
I see you happy for her.
Yes, I am. Because it took Jamie over 40 years to win an Oscar. I'm going to be in the middle with you guys. I thought she won an Oscar in a while, but after hearing that this year, 2023, her first Oscar. Yeah, both of her both of her late parents were nominated for an Oscar in the different categories, and they didn't win. Her mom, Lee Curtis, was nominated in 1960 for Best Actress and Supporting Role in Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. And her dad, Tony Curtis, was nominated in 1958 for Best Actor in a Leading Role for The Defiant One. So this was definitely a big night for her. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I haven't seen the movie completely through because again I started talking on the phone, then I fell asleep. So I have to watch a role, but I'm sure it was people love the movie. I'm sure it was well deserved. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to her. And for me, it was a little bit of distractor because people try to turn the story in about Angela Bassett.
Oh yeah. I was going to talk about that.
And so, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Jamie Lee Curtis' role. I mean, 45 years. Again, I assume it's well deserved. I have really enjoyed her throughout the years. So, congratulations to her. But to turn that moment into more about policing, yet again, another Black woman and her emotions. I mean, she sat there, as far as I'm concerned, with class. She had, it's okay for people to be human. They don't have to perform 24/7 for you. And if she's disappointed that she did not win in that moment for a role she cared so much about, it's okay. And so she has a right to sit in her moment. She didn't boo her. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
She did not stand up, which she didn't have to. She didn't clap. She didn't have to. And she can sit in her disappointment. It's okay for her to sit in her disappointment. She doesn't have to. And it's not being a sore loser. You can sit in your disappointment. A sore loser is someone who's throwing a tantrum, interrupting the moment for someone else. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, kind of like how Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift.
I mean, he wasn't even nominated, but this a poor sport, inconsiderate, things like that. That's what. But no, if you sit in your disappointment, that's not being a sore loser. Nobody says when the Super Bowl team, when you have all these grown men and they're walking off and they're dejected because they just lost the Super Bowl, they throw in their helmet, they sitting down mad, don't want to talk to nobody. It's okay because they get to sit in their disappointment, right?
Right.
So she gets to sit in her disappointment. But congratulations to Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes. A long career.
Very, very long career.
I've been watching her since I want to say another movie, but I'm not going to tell that live because I can't make up stuff. So I'm just going to say, excuse me. I've been watching her since Halloween.
I was gonna figure it would be Halloween.
No, but I've seen her in something else. But I know she's in Prom Night, but like Halloween Prom Night. But I think I saw her in something else even before then. But I've been watching her for many years, and she's a very entertaining actress and who has a long career. And congratulations to her and her family. I'm sure that was a big accomplishment.
Yeah, I've watched her since Freaky Friday, and now to the person that she's become. Wow, nobody said winning an Oscar would be easy. What are your thoughts, Uncle Ruben?
Yeah, I think it's congratulations to her winning. She's had an amazing career. Like Eve said, I watched her since Halloween and all the Scream. Starting out as a Scream Queen in all the horror movies that she was in, from Halloween, Halloween 2, Prom Night, Terror Train. There's a few others, To Trading Places, I think. Fish Call Wanda, True Lies.
Well, that was a good one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of movies that she was in. But I was telling Eve, I didn't even recognize her in her role in as a tax auditor in Everything and All Everywhere All at Once. So that's the part I was like, that was Jamie Lee Curtis as the tax auditor. I was like, oh, okay. So that threw me off too. So that's a sign of a good role when you don't know that's who's playing the role. So that's always a good sign of a good actor. Angela Bassett, I thought did a good job in Wakanda Forever. So
She did. She did.
um, you know, at the end of the day, people who vote for the Oscars, you could go back to the Oscars So White campaign from a few years ago, and those who are voting, they still have their issues, and you think about how long it took for persons of color to win Oscars. It's how long it's taken people of color to win Oscars, and how long it's taken those people to be recognized, and how often good Black films go unrecognized, or Black scores of movies go unrecognized. I was looking at a list of it was like a top 25 list of things that could have won Oscars that should have been recognized for Oscars, and it was like Richard Pryor in a movie that I've never heard of. It was like a 70s movie they should have won an Oscar for. They should have won an Oscar for. I've never heard of the movie, but it makes me want to go and look for this movie now, because it's like, it's all these different things that you don't think about that don't get recognized because they're so much better than the movies that win the Oscars that don't get recognized because of who's choosing who wins the Oscar, who the nominating people are. So I think that's often what happens is like, they even recommended, I forgot, they said that, was it Denzel Washington winning Training Day should have lost to somebody else. I forgot should have lost somebody else because it was such a throwaway part. They should have lost somebody that did a better role, even though Training Day was a good movie. It was, I forgot who it was. It was a better acting role in a movie. I forgot, but
What is a better acting role? Let me tell you something. Anytime, first of all, he played his butt off in Training Day.
sure.
And that's what you should, and that's what it should be based on. I mean, while we talk about, I have to bring up the Woman King again. Because one, there's a lot of female producers and directors, and so I think they were overlooked because we also not only about people of color, Black people, anti-Blackness, anti-people of color, but also anti-women, especially when they're behind the production and the directing, which is, where it's at behind the scenes. So the director of The Woman King was overlooked. But can we talk about somebody who I think should have also been nominated? Lashana Lynch. You may know her from I know she was the new 007 in Jane Bond movie, but Lashana Lynch is bad. And I mean, when she played Isogi on The Woman King, I think she should have been nominated. But after this podcast, I'm gonna go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once because
fall asleep. Or
I want to feel good about something. But yeah, so that's all I have to say. All right, are you gonna take care? Who's gonna handle Unc? Can you take care of Lindsay
Oh,
Lohan?
for our final topic this week, Mean Girls alumni Lindsay Lohan has announced that she is expecting her first child with her husband Bader Shamus in an Instagram announcement with a picture of a onesie in her announcement. Teased coming soon. Lindsay told TMZ, "We are looking forward to this next chapter of our lives." Any thoughts, guys?
I'm praying for the baby.
Congratulations to Lindsay Lohan. I grew up watching her in most of her Disney movies. I recently watched her Christmas film on Netflix last year. I forgot what the movie is, but it was an amazing movie and I adored it. And from watching Lindsay Lohan to the person that she is today is like really, really mind blown. Annie, what are your thoughts?
I'm praying for the baby.
Uncle Ruben?
Yeah, congratulations to her. I think, hopefully the baby's healthy, it comes out, everything's good. And I enjoyed Mean Girls, and I think, with her recent troubles, and hopefully everything's past her, everything's good, and I hope she has a healthy pregnancy and she's in a better space, and her life is in a better spot, and hopefully I haven't heard anything negative on her in recent months. So, hopefully everything's good, and her life is better than it has been in the past few years. So, like Annie said, pray for her and her baby. So she didn't say pray for her, but pray for the baby.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's all the topics we have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we would love to know what you guys think. Let us know in your comments, and as always, we would appreciate if you would subscribe to wherever you get your podcast. We have been your host, and until next time, that part.